Hello, Instagram family. Hello, Instagram family. I am super excited to share with you today a little behind the scenes footage of me painting. I want to show you my painting process, all while I'm talking to you about what creativity means to me, what it is that I do as an artist, a speaker, and a creative coach, and a little bit of my story, like just a smidge of my story of where I got into being creative and sharing a little bit about that. And so here we go. So what you see me doing here is I am preparing my paints. I am using a canvas. I am not using what most artists use, a palette, but I am also creating two paintings at once. The canvas that I have in my lap that I'm just showing you, that is what I put my paints on top of, each different color, and I'm showing you the colors that I'm using. I do not have a formal way of picking colors. I'm gonna be honest here. I simply just do this for my soul. What colors I want, I pick a whole bunch of colors out of my collection, and then I just go for it. And what I mean by that is, like, before yesterday, I did not even know anything about a color wheel, but as I am on this journey, I am learning more and more about the purpose behind colors and how they work together. Um, and I'm realizing that there's so much for me to learn in being an artist and being a creative and actually painting. What you see me doing here is I am finding music to listen to. When I paint, I love, love, love. I do not paint without either listening to an audiobook or a set of, like, a playlist. I have to have it. That's a part of my process as well. I am writing, I am speaking, and if you have been following the political arena, you know a little bit about what that means, but let me define it for you for what it means for me. This means that I am walking and doing the thing that I am designed to do. And for me, this speaking part is me writing, not writing, me painting on top of this. I do write as well, but in this arena, I am painting, and painting is a form of speaking for me, and it is not. It is beautiful. However, it is not what most people will think of speaking as. And so I am super excited to put these colors together. And I be honest here again. I am not going by any type of thing that I had researched or anything. I'm simply following the beat of my own drum. And whatever colors that I choose, I put it there. If I don't like it, I can paint over it. That is one of the most beautiful things about painting, is that you can paint over something if you don't like it, if you don't like what it looks like. And so that will lead me into a little bit of my story. As a child, I went through a lot of different things in childhood. I had a picture, and I'll liken it to what I'm doing here. A picture had been painted of gloom and defeat at a very young age. And there was a secret that I was told. This is kind of going to have a little rhythmic to it. There was a secret that I was told to keep. And this secret started to eat at my soul. When I looked at this picture that was being painted again, I started to see all of the details. And right then, and I wouldn't say immediately, but as I started to see the details of the picture and seeing the condition of my heart and how I was feeling, I made a decision. This was not an easy decision. However, I made a decision, and this decision took me years to make. However, in this decision, I said, this is the time where I'm going to change this picture for myself. I made up in my mind. I said, the next time that this man tries to come pick me up, that I am not going with him. And as a child, I began to see that the damage was already done, and that this man had masked his filthy ways by taking me to places that every child would like to go. And then I started to find hope in what was painted in the top corner of the picture. It was a ray of light, and it looked like the sun to me. And for me, this ray of light for me was people that were asking, questions of me, asking me how I was doing, checking on me, being there for me in the midst of all of these things that were happening. It was my family. They were the sunlight. It was friends. When I say friends, my younger friends at this time, they were the sunlight. My teachers, they were the sunlight. And so in this journey wasn't just in childhood. This kind of carried over, not kind of, this carried over into my adulthood as well. And in this picture, like I said, there was something in the top of the picture that was a ray of light. And so this ray of light really helped me to see that this is not over. this process is not over. And so the memories started to play back in my mind like a broken record player. And then I began to write. This is another part of my story. I began to write. And in writing, I started to see like my life doesn't have to be this way. And I started to create a new life for myself in a journal. One of the most powerful things that I have ever done. And years had passed, and I had hid this pain in my heart, and I continued to wear a smile. And then I saw every child that I saw, I started to see worry, hurt, and affliction in their eyes. And this showed me that my heart had been leased to this man. And when I say to this man, like I still was harboring unforgiveness in my heart. And so I realized that this had created inside of me an inner beast. And then, although this picture had been painted with permanent ink, I had painted over it with the colors of strength, joy, and peace. And this is where the story turns. It was when I was able to forgive this man and forgive these situations that I was able to see the beauty in my picture. So, and this goes to my next point. Every picture that I paint, it is to be a painting of strength, of joy, of peace, of restoration, of hope for people, of stability for people, for them to see that although your picture may, and when I say picture, although your life may have been painted with permanent ink, you can still paint over it. You can still paint over it. Every form of art is reversible. Like I was saying, every part of art can be reversed, undone, restarted, painted over, copied, pasted. And if you have seen anything of art, you know that more than likely, because there's nothing new under the sun, you have seen these things before. And we are just being inspired by nature. We are being inspired by your stories. We're being inspired by our own stories. We are being inspired by things that we have seen from our parents. We are being inspired by everything in the world. So none of this stuff is new. We're simply just putting our ideas with the old ideas and creating something new with that. And it's just new to you because you're like, oh, I haven't seen that before. And you may have never seen what I am painting now this way, but you have seen colors put together in some way, shape, form, or fashion in your life. And it's just been given to you in a different form onto this canvas by me as the artist. And so I want to encourage you in this little session here about you have the power to decide. You have the power to paint over your picture. The picture that has been painted of gloom, defeat, depression, anxiety, frustration, poverty, whatever, for women who've been oppressed, you can do your story over. You can paint over it with the colors of strength, of joy, of peace. Me slow down on here, and I am just slow the video down so that you can see this process is very meticulous. This process is very soul centered. It is pulling from the deepest, darkest parts of my soul. And when I say dark, I actually mean like the beautiful parts of our soul that we don't really express. I am really slowing this down so that you too can reflect on your life. Like, what is your situation? What do you have going on in your life that you are not liking? And I want to say that, like, I absolutely love my life. Every single part of my life, I love it, because the parts that I did not like, I am doing something about. And so I want to lend that over to you and say, let's speed this thing up and get to it. And what I mean by speed it up is like, take an opportunity to reflect, slow down, reflect, and see the parts of your life that you are not liking, and paint over it. Because man, woman, boy, girl, you have the paintbrush in your hand.